All right, folks, thank you for joining us again. We are just about set and ready to go, playing in the KC Sports Web Gems Rings Championship tournament. This will be pool play game number 2 between MacNSeitz 14U Blue and EKC Black. And so we have played these folks once in this past fall. A real close matchup. MacNSeitz falling in the last half inning to EKC Black in that particular tournament. So nice to be able to see them and try to come out with a W here tonight. Coaches meeting has already transpired, and our boys in blue have already taken the field. I'll go over our starting lineup here today. Reed Eckert, Ryder Votaw, Jacob Larson, followed by Paul McCliney, Logan Peterson, Harrison Perkins, Tucker Lee, Odie Saxon, Austin Strength, Brooks Carr, Evan Book, and Grant Kelly rounding out the lineup. Starting out for us on the bump is Logan Peterson. First pitch, a ball just outside. Logan having appeared for us on a number of occasions, obviously, this season. Kind of one of the top 3 pitchers for the team. He's appeared in 4 games and pitched about just over 7 innings, 7.2 innings. He started two games, and this will be his 3rd start that he's drawn. And starting off this leadoff batter for EKC Black, that is Ridge Sappington. And Logan has him now on a 1-2 count. And a strike 3 call. So Logan starts off strong, and Paul's got the yips down there with a bad throw, trying to throw it around the horn. But nice start. Logan from the windup. This one down in the dirt. That is number 9, Cooper Meng, at the plate for EKC Black. And another strike there. So Logan here early, finding the zone. This is game number 2 on the day. MacNSeitz coming out victorious and a close one. This ball into play, and man, a nice play by Ryder Votaw. Wow. Got to give him a little bit of credit there. Nice slide and a great throw over. I'm tagging you on a play there, Ryder, for you guys to see a little bit later on. So 2 batters, 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Sully, number 31 for EKC, batting in the 3-hole. So Logan starting that batter off with a little off speed. Missing high. But MacNSeitz winning a close one against the Odessa Bombers here earlier, about 4 o'clock was the game start. And as you can see now, the sun has gone down. The temperatures are cooling. And I tell you what, it was actually just a really beautiful day, and it's turned into a beautiful night. The sun was hot. It's one of the warmer days of the year so far, but there was just enough of a breeze to keep the massive heat off of you. And as the game wore on, that breeze kind of fell off, and it started to get a little stifling. But now the sun's down, everybody's cooled off, had a little chance to recharge their batteries. Oh, man, and he misses a close one there. Now a 3-2 count. I'm sure Logan wanted that one, but you got to give hats off to this umpiring crew, man. They have been hard at it all day long. And Logan lets one get away there. Paul with a nice dig, keeping that ball right in front of him, right off the chest plate. And EKC Black earning their way on base. So a pretty healthy lead over there at first. Let's see if they're going to challenge Paul. Paul with the back pick over at first. And EKC back up, no problem. So that's number 17, Sean Wilson at the plate for EKC. And again, a nice healthy lead over there at first base. Runner goes. Throw goes down. Oh, man, oh, my gosh. I got a little tongue twisted there, but Paul with a fantastic throw down right on spot, and Ryder just missed it. If Ryder had put the glove on that ball, that runner no doubt would have been out. But such is the case, and nice wheels over there by that young man. And that pitch missing outside. Logan's consistently coming in somewhere 65 to 68 miles an hour, but I have definitely seen him top 71, 72. And just missing outside. And, you know, it's interesting. I was actually listening to a Royals game here, I think maybe about 2 weeks ago, and they were talking about how youth pitchers these days are not really owning that inside portion of the plate. And so a full count here. We'll see what Logan comes up with. Infield set. And he misses high. So 2 up, 2 down, and almost nothing flat, and then 2 long walks. And that's going to bring up number 13, Wyatt. My goodness, I don't know what that last name is, folks, but tall, cool drink of water. And a little bit bigger strike zone for Logan to work with. So better calling time. Felt like Logan waited a little too long. And he starts him off with a nice strike there. Fastball coming in. I think Logan took a little bit off that one. Trying to dial it in, get that first pitch strike. You can kind of see the sun setting in the background here. On a beautiful night. Currently playing in the Capital Federal Sports Complex out of Liberty, Missouri. So a suburb of the Kansas City market. Now 1-1 count. Oh, beautiful curveball right there. And a 1-2 count. You could definitely tell that Wyatt was not looking curveball on that particular pitch. Let's see if he throws it back to back. He did not. He rings him up. Fastball right down the pipe, and Logan gets out of any kind of trouble. So MacNSeitz making their way out of the top half of the first inning. No runs. I am going to go on a short break here. I'll let you guys tune in to a little. Oh, my goodness, where'd it go? There we are. right, folks. So we are all set to go here. Bottom of the first, leading off for MacNSeitz is Reed Eckert, followed by Ryder Votaw. On deck. Let me read off the EKC starting lineup. Number 7, Ridge Sappington. Number 9, Cooper Meng. Number 31, Soley McCarthy. Sean Wilson, Wyatt Mason, Will McMillan, Josh. My goodness, I can't read half these names. Cam and Quentin. And Reed Eckert taking a strike call for first pitch. That is number 9, Cooper Meng, on the mound for EKC. And Reed laying off that last one down in the dirt early. Ball in play. This one over to second base. And the second baseman flubs it. Reed will reach on air. And MacNSeitz has a leadoff batter on base. That brings up Ryder Votaw, batting .333 on the season. 3 RBI so far, but scoring 9 runs himself with 8 walks, a couple stolen bases. And strike call inside corner. No movement over there at first. Reed with a good lead, but not an excessive lead. I'd say Reed's got good speed, not great speed. Pass ball, and Eckert is able to make his way over to second base. You know, and I would imagine that Reed, kind of dealing with some back stiffness and soreness. I heard it here a few games back, is probably not moving as well as he normally does too. This another pass ball, and Reed is quickly making his way around the bases, and Ryder Votaw with an RBI opportunity here early in bottom of the first inning. If you guys hear some noise in the background, that is the lovely train going right by the Capitol Federal Sports Complex. And were we on another diamond, you guys would be able to see that in the background, but we're across the field. Playing on the Jousting Pigs diamond. And a ball 4 for Ryder Votaw as he draws a walk. So 2 batters and 2 walks. Runners now in the corners. And for hot-hitting Jacob Larson, I tell you what, he got a hold of one last game. 2 RBI double, and he just hit the heck out of that ball. Continuing to see it really well. And Ryder Votaw almost getting picked off. That's one of those moves that you don't see a ton. Oh my gosh, the base umpire not too exuberant in his call. I think there were some folks questioning whether or not he was out or safe over there first, but pitch made a movement towards third base and then threw it back to first. Ryder was on the run and had to quickly get back. And of course, as you might imagine, EKC coach wanting to talk about it with home plate umpire. Hard to argue with his sentiment there and wanting to have a talk. But Jacob Larson batting .500 on the season. Just seeing the ball well, putting it in play, and getting the bat on the ball. Ryder goes, pass ball, and Catch is having a hard time hanging on to anything. Runners now on second and third. Count now 2-0 to Larson. And pitch taking a quick moment here to tie up his laces. Guess he didn't get to that before the game. See if we can get a better view here for Larson. He puts this one in play. High fly ball, right side, and the right fielder pulls that one in. Eckert tags up, and they catch Vota in the middle of, and they got Vota in a pickle. And Vota's going to be up safe. All right. Fantastic job. So Larson with a sac fly. Eckert is able to tag from third and make his way home and gets MacNSeitz on the board here early. And Vota with a little piece of luck making his way over to third. Big swing and a miss by McCliney. That pitch coming in 68 miles an hour. A little bit more pop than what we saw in some of his previous pitches. And missing just inside, and by missing, I mean missing Paul McCliney's knee right there. Paul usually so steadfast in the box, but you know, something's coming in at your knee, man. That's tough not to move. So pitch with some nice movement on a curveball. Some good horizontal break there, too, and Catch is just having a heck of a time getting his glove on the ball. And McCliney fouling that one back. That'll give him a 2-2 count. I think he really kind of wanted that one. But a 2-2 count's not too bad, and now pitch and catch are talking about the what I can only imagine is the pitch type. I'm thinking he's going to be looking for some off speed on the outside corner and try to get Paul Chase something. And that's what he tried to do, but that ball did not break and slipped out of his hand a little bit. Now full count. Now he's going to have to throw a strike. And this is the kind of hit, the kind of pitch that Paul is looking for. And down in the dirt. Another pass ball. And once again, MacNSeitz with runners on the corners on a walk. So EKC really just at this point hurting themselves with not a lot of balls getting into play, but everybody being patient in the box. And, you know, that's something I talked about in the first game, that where we get to swinging away, and I think the boys, you know, they wait all week long to get into these tournaments, and they see the pitches they want to hit early, and they swing too often too early. They don't get deeper into the count. And the deeper into the count, you're going to get a much better pitch to hit. So some of those guys in the bottom half of our lineup, that's something that I think that they could really benefit from, and that is trying to get a little deeper in the count. So that's big number 3-5, Logan Peterson at the plate. Runner goes. And a strike call. My goodness, that one was out there a ways, but runners now on second and third, just one down and still bottom of the first. MacNSeitz up now 1-0. Ooh. And a nice looking curveball. I think Logan really thought about that one. And a wild pitch, that one coming in well behind Peterson. And now a 2-2 count. As Harrison Perkins is on deck, waiting his turn in the box. And it looks like EKC wants to talk about it for a moment. Well, as EKC talks about what they've got going on out there on the mound, I'll take a moment here and talk about our platinum sponsor for 2023, and that is the good folks over at Van Horn Land and Cattle, a family-owned and operated farm in Kansas, and you can check them out on Facebook. They're big on community, and we are big on them for supporting local youth athletics. Their donation supports these young men training and playing America's pastime. So a huge shout out to everyone at Van Horn Land and Cattle. Thank you so much for your donations. All right, that mound conference now over, and Logan back in the box. Oh, and a strike 3 call. Logan heads back to the dugout in maybe a little bit of disbelief. I will say that this umpiring crew has been out here literally all day long, folks, and the young man behind the plate right now calling the game, this is at least his 3rd game in a row. And a lot of credit to these guys, because without them out there umpiring, we don't get to play baseball. So I know they catch a lot of flack sometimes, and they're not perfect on every call they have, but I think we definitely have to make sure that we show a lot of appreciation, because they're out here in the heat, and they're not making great money. They're out here because they love baseball, and as everybody out here is, supporting their kids who also love baseball. And that brings up number 28, Harrison Perkins, to the plate. Now on a 1-0 count. And yet another pass ball, folks. This time, Ryder Votaw making good use of it and coming across the plate. Runner advances from 2nd to 3rd, and now 2 down, and Perkins with an RBI opportunity. Perkins with a couple RBIs on the season so far. Has another opportunity for one here. Puts the ball in play. This over to short. Short will make the throw over to first, and it's a wild throw. Harrison Perkins reaches on air, and a run will score. Perkins will get the credit for that RBI, and it is now 3-0 for MacNSeitz. That brings up number 27, Tucker Lee. Another wild pitch, and Perkins makes his way over to second with ease. And I got to find a new view here, because that camera, got to make some adjustments here. Tucker Lee smashes this one. It's right side. It bounces to the fence. Let's go, Tucker. Harrison Perkins walks into second, no problem. And Tucker is going to be and Tucker Lee is out at 3rd base. So for the 2nd time this season, Tucker smashes one to the fence, tries to stretch a double into a triple, and gets gunned down at 3rd. So unbelievable. He does end up with an RBI on that hit. The score is now 4-0, but that will do it for us in the half inning. Wow. Unbelievable. I cannot believe, and I don't know if Coach Brady was rounding him or if he went on his own. I know in watching the last game, you could see Coach Brady was visibly agitated that some of the boys were electing to steal on their own without taking a sign from him to steal, and really kind of putting us in some bad situations. That last game maybe closer than it should have been, but you know, give credit where credit's due. The boys hung tough and finally came back in the end there. But I think had they listened to Coach, especially out on the base paths, we may have been in a better spot. So Logan Peterson will come back out. He'll throw the 2nd inning. Pretty efficient in the 1st, although a couple of walks. Enjoying a 4-0 lead. And that's always a great place when you're pitching to pitch from. So defensively, we got Paul McCliney behind the dish. And Jacob Larson out there at 3rd. Ryder Votaw at short. Looks like Austin Strength at, or no, is that maybe Greg Kelly? Greg Kelly at 2nd. And then Odie Saxon out there at 1st base. Right field looks like Evan Book, Reed Eckert in center, and Tucker Lee in left. That's going to bring up number 32, Mason Clark. So Peterson missing on the first two pitches. Ball. I know I've been told in the past that, as I'm calling play-by-play, I'm a little too hard on my son, and that's Tucker Lee. But I tell you what, he smashed that ball, and I think he was not hustling down first base line. I think he was celebrating a little too much, and that may have slowed him up just enough to get thrown out there at third. Tucker, one of the faster kids on the team, both him and Perkins showing really great speed at times, but I tell you what, he didn't get his motor running until halfway after first base. But Peterson doing a great job here, battling back to a full count. 32 yet to swing the bat. High pop fly, right side. And off the glove of Evan Book. So Mason will reach via air. And MacNSeitz will need to collect themselves and continue to play well. Peterson now from the stretch. And a very conservative lead over at first. Don't think we have a runner over there. But that does bring up number 36, Will McMahon, to the plate. And Paul with a nice glove on the ball there. See Vota over there at short, calling out the situation to the outfield. That's one of those things I was talking about, I think maybe 2 tournaments ago, and that was something that we're not maybe seeing quite as often as what we should, is a little bit of chatter out there on the field. Everybody kind of being on the same page, understanding what the baseball situation is, and right now that's no outs and runner on first. Nice back pick over at first. EKC back in time. And Peterson coming up with a strike down the pipe on that last pitch. Let's see if he can battle this one back to a full count. And indeed he does. And a hard foul ball straight back. Typically when you see a foul ball that's coming straight back, you know that their timing is on. They were just a little bit under the pitch. And once again does it there. So a quality at bat by Will. And Peterson doing a great job battling his way back from a 3-0 count. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Peterson. And I tell you what, on the just over 7 innings that Peterson's pitched, he's had 13 strikeouts. So he's added 2 more to the tally right there for a nice solid 15. And Peterson steps off the back of the rubber. I think he wants to reset. Checks on the runner over at first. And swing and a miss. I think that's number 28, Josiah MacNSeitz at the plate. And Peterson missing just high. And no movement over there from EKC on first. Just taking your standard lead, waiting to be batted around. Ooh, good looking pitch right there, but missing outside. 2-1 count. Oh, I don't know where that one missed. So, we talk about this a lot of times, and I'm just off canter here. Nobody better than the umpire to be able to call the balls and strikes. And so, even though I'm very closely situated, runner goes, and it's a walk anyhow. But, nobody better to call those balls and strikes than the umpire. And I have a good viewing option here. I'm not quite sure where that is. Sometimes you'll see that the home plate umpires will tell the pitchers kind of where the pitch is at. They'll motion that it's outside or it's inside, it's high or it's low. But every umpire kind of having their own way to call the game. That one clearly missing inside. So Peterson getting into a little bit of trouble with a couple of walks in the first inning, but strikes his way out of that. This pitch coming in, left side. Tucker Lee hauls that one in for out number 1. I'm sorry, my apologies. That's out number 2. Logan obviously had the strikeout here earlier. And so now 2 down, runners on first and second. Same situation as what we found ourselves in the first inning. And that one's fouled back by Cam, by number 24, Cam for EKC. Logan coming up with the strikes when he just absolutely needs them, but struggling with a little bit of control. And, I talk about this quite often. Very rarely as a pitcher do you get up there and have the best command that you ever have. And so only on about maybe a quarter of your outings are you going to get up there on the hill and have the command that you want to have at all times. And so you have to figure out ways to win. And winning pitchers really do that. This ball goes foul, and it was going right down the line. The batter actually bumped into it, and it rolled off to the foul territory. So the runner's on base, reset. Logan. Runner goes, and Paul with a nice throw down, but runner got a good jump. And I tell you what, I said that runner was not a runner, and he's making a fibber out of me. I can't believe he was able to steal third. Ooh, nice hit here. That one's going to get down for a single. Run will score. Throw comes in, and no play at the plate. Runner does run. And so on that throw in, the runner is able to advance to second. So a nice piece of hitting there for EKC, and they put 2 on the board. Score now 4-2. Runner on second. That is number 12, Quentin, maybe Hackman. And Peterson dials this one up, that one at 70 right down the pipe. So interesting, how each pitcher deals with different things, base hits and runs scored. But Logan dialing it in here and maybe making good work of that frustration. Starting off with the first pitch strike. So 1-1 count now. Quentin at the plate. Runner on second. Votal working his way back and forth behind the runner. And Logan continuing to try to pepper that outside corner and just missing. I'd like to see him start working that inside half of the plate a little more. Paul McCliney doing a fantastic job digging and keeping that ball in front of him. I tell you what, folks, if you just remember, look at the last half inning and the difference that a great catcher can make. I don't know how many pass balls we saw in the last half inning, but my goodness, it was quite a few. And when you can rely on your catcher to, regardless of what type of pitch you're throwing, with good lateral movement, left or right, and then obviously, using good mechanics and getting down and keeping that ball in the glove and everything right there in front of him. 3-2 count. Oh, you could just see the ball slip right out of Logan's hand. And so that one gets away from him. That's ball number 4. Runners now on second and first. It's always fun kind of playing under the lights. I know as a kid that was always one of my favorite things to do. Tend to have a little bit cooler weather. You're not just dying from the sun and the heat beating down on you. Logan missing again high, and EKC has now batted around. This is Ridge Sappington, and he is their leadoff batter. Fouling that one straight back, rattling the camera. Votaw continuing to try to keep the runner at second honest. Moves back into place. Oh, that ball hits right. Oh, and then another error. Unbelievable. Run does score. And they get him in the pickle, but not before EKC has another run come in. So runner reaches on air, and, really frustrating because I thought Jacob Larson did a fantastic job moving to the ball. I thought he had it. He actually dropped it. He picks it up with his bare hand and made what I thought was going to be a pretty good throw over to second. Second baseman not able to handle the ball. It goes all the way out to the outfield. Runner comes around third, comes into home, and then we get the runner from second to third in a pickle and just lose sight of the runner at third. And, man, that is not what you want to see right there. That's not great baseball. And I'm seeing the score up there on the scoreboard is 5-4, so I'm going to double check with the bookkeeper, and let's see where that score is. I'll put you guys on a small momentary pause, and I'll let you listen to a little bit of our ballpark sounds. Okay, folks, and we are all set here. Top of the second. Or, I'm sorry, bottom of the second. And that is number 5'8", Odie Saxon at the plate. Takes his first pitch for a strike. Odie joining us for the first time this season. Played some high school ball out there at Lee Summit West. And high school season now all wrapped up. And, you know, this is kind of like that controversial thing where, you know, does a kid play their age level or do they play their grade level? And, you know, lots of opinions with that. But, man, he smokes that one. Left side. That's going to get – nope, the left fielder comes up with a nice ball right there. I thought I was going to get by him, but Odie Saxon smoked that one. I'll tell you what. But, you know, lots of opinions about whether a kid should play grade level or play age level. And I tell you what, each kid is different. Their situation is different. And, you know, that's where you have to work with your parents, your coaches, and make those tough decisions. And I know as a parent myself, I've had to do that. My son Tucker, on the young side for this particular age bracket, he could easily play down. And I've elected to move him up about 2 years ago. And so he's one of the younger guys on the team, but big kid still nonetheless. And I feel like athletically he can compete. So that's the choice that we ended up making for him. But again, every kid is different. And I think that it's easy for people who think they know everything about baseball to be super critical of that. And that's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. As long as they can still play within the rules, that's all that matters. Pop fly right side. That's Austin Strength. He'll reach on air. And I'll tell you what, this has not been a clean game so far on either side of the ball. So MacNSeitz benefiting there. Nobody down here. Bottom of the second. Score all tied up 4-4. So go ahead, run on second. We can add to that margin for the runner on first, and then that brings up number 5, Brooks Carr, to the plate. Pegs that one off a home plate, and runners advance. And dugout calling out there for speed, and kind of funny, just kids loose and playing, having fun. So it's good to see. And that win earlier today certainly helps that. Now pitcher standing across the rubber, peering as if he was going to work from the windup, decides better of it. Now from the stride. Strike call there, 1-1 count. So Brooks Carr batting .250 on the season. 3 RBIs coming into this tournament. So, of course, that doesn't account for the game here earlier today. Looking to add to that RBI total. Now, Odie Saxon out there on third, not one of the speedsters by any means, and I think that's why the guys were all calling out for speed. Yeah, and you know what? I actually called it. Play-by-play wise, my wife coming over there telling me, hey, oh my goodness. Little chopper right back to a pitch. He looks over at third. And then Austin Strength. Oh my goodness. Not exactly the best baseball right there. Yeah, see, I called it right, but I didn't update the score overlay there. So I appreciate the viewership keeping us honest. But Austin Strength just getting a little bit wily out there at second base, almost caught himself in a pickle. And Evan Book being patient right there, waiting on a close one, and gets away with the ball. That fastball coming in, missing wide. Let's see, Evan Book with 1 RBI on the season so far. He struggled at the plate as of here of late, but I tell you what, I talked about it in the last game too. He came up with a big RBI double against the Joko Storm and a close matchup that could have really been pivotal for us. We ended up falling down, and a pass ball goes. Odie Saxon doing a fantastic job, and the guy's calling out speed once again. That'll put MacNSeitz in the lead once more, now 5-4. Evan has struggled at the plate a bit, but I tell you, the kid can swing the bat. And baseball is such a mental game. You can get down on yourself here pretty easy, and you try to guide it. You try to do a lot of different things, but really the biggest thing is just trying not to think. And too many guys overthink, and Evan strikes out on not a very good swing right there. But I tell you what, the kid, if he'll stick with it, he'll get through it too. Their slumps are a part of baseball, and everybody goes through them. Doesn't matter how long you play. Everybody has a slump that they have to get through. So he will too, and staff will stick with him, keep working with him. That brings up Grant Kelly to the plate. Swing and a miss. Oh, I see over here on our overlay, we've got Grant Kelly's number wrong. So we need to get that updated to number 15, not number 10. And a good-looking curveball right there. Strike 2. I think Grant kind of thought that one was a little bit in. Grant with a nice single in that last game, right up the middle. Hard line drive. Hey, a little late on that one, but he is battling, folks. Fouls that one off and earns himself another chance. Oh, 2 count. Runner on third. Oh, there you go, and Grant fouls that one off, but this one's starting to work its way more towards fair territory. So he continues to battle. Let's see if he can win it here. Curveball outside, trying to get him to chase, and Grant stays disciplined, steps to the ball, and holds the bat. So really, all in all, quality at bat so far. And waits on that one. Another pass ball. There will be a play at the plate, and he is safe. Austin Strent with some good speed. And MacNSeitz finding a little breathing room here. Contest now 6-4. Looks like the EKC coach is asking a question, and now we've got the home plate umpire conferring with the base umpire. Not sure what's going on there at all. Well, it looks like play is going to resume, so not sure what the question was at hand. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. But the umpiring staff working together and electing to resume play here. So I think that's something that they've done well today. I saw it in the game before ours, and then also in our earlier game at 4 o'clock, and the umpire and staff working together. And Grant Kelly with a hell of a quality of at-bat right there. He fouls another one back. And base umpire, I'm not sure what he was hollering about. Chopper over to third. Throw over to first. And that'll be out number 3. So good at bat by Grant Kelly, and unfortunately not coming up with the hit there, but MacNSeitz does get a couple more on the board here, and now 6-4 in the lead. Looks like MacNSeitz is actually going to stick with Logan Peterson here for the 3rd inning, so not sure where he's at pitch count-wise. Obviously, when you're looking at, hey, how many outs can he have, or how many pitches can he have and still be able to pitch in bracket play tomorrow? And so, obviously, you know, we've got a pretty large field here in the Webb Gems Rings Championship Tournament. I think 17 teams in total playing and competing. So there will be 2 brackets tomorrow, kind of a gold bracket and a silver bracket. Right now we are 1-0 on the day, so looking like if things go well here in this particular game, we'll make our way over to that gold bracket. But still a lot of baseball here yet to go. And Peterson continuing to warm up. I'll take a moment here and talk about one of our silver sponsors for this season. That's the team out at Village Pediatrics, specializing in comprehensive services for children from birth through adolescence. They continue their support and care of the community through their services, and also here by supporting the young men at MacNSeitz. So if you were looking for a pediatrician, we'd recommend you check them out. That's Village Pediatrics, where children come first. All right, and so that is number 9, Cooper Mang, up at the plate for EKC. Logan Peterson working from the windup. And misses just low there. A little off speed coming in at 61 miles an hour. So good 8-9 mile an hour difference there from his typical fastball. And I really like that there. He missed on the second pitch and then came back with that same pitch once again and got it there. So 2-1 count. Too many kids think they have to switch the pitch every pitch. And then now he smokes a fastball. That one's 68 miles an hour right down the pipe. We'll see if Cooper's going to be game enough to use that lumber. Peterson goes back to that breaking ball. Didn't quite break. Now a full count. So some walks led to some troubles for MacNSeitz here this last inning, and EKC earning a leadoff walk. So 4 diamonds out here at the Capital Federal Sports Complex. They actually have 8, and there's 4 over here on this side of the complex, but only 3 games going at the moment. And a throw down. They got him. They took. Yeah. Paul McCliney guns him down, and the EKC runner actually slid through the base and then had to come back. But I tell you what, Logan Peterson with a nice piece of luck right there with the leadoff walk, and McCliney gunning him down. He seems to be good for at least one or two almost every tournament. And my apologies, folks. I was a little delayed on that call. I had actually looked down. I was looking at some stats, and I looked up, and the runner was going. So no 2 count here. And he bounces that one down in the dirt. That is that number 3-2? No, it's 3-1. Swing and a miss, and that is strikeout number 3 for Logan Peterson today. And boys throw it around the horn, this time cleanly. And number 17 now up the plate, that is Sean Wilson for EKC. Peterson from the windup. And a hard foul back. Definitely pretty late on that pitch. See if he adjusts here. And Peterson very consistently coming across that outside portion and missing just outside. That one probably a little bit farther than some of the others, but he fouls that one back. I think Paul, lucky that didn't hit his hand, his throwing hand. Oh, and there Logan goes back to the inside. That's just what I was thinking in my head. Is like, gosh, I want to see him work that inside of the plate. And missing just high. That one coming in 65 miles an hour. And now full count. Foul ball right side. And so a quality at bat by Sean Wilson. And I got to tell you, even though the sun is down, it is still warm. I'm sweating. I'm getting a crazy look over here from. It's the hot air. Honey, I don't think you're that bad. Foul out of play. Strike 3. And that'll do it for us here in the second. Strikeout number 4. So Peterson with some control issues. I think he's got 4 walks on the day, but he's got 4 strikeouts too. So not all bad. And if it hadn't been for walks and a number of errors, I think those errors led to about 3 runs. So it's one of those things as we get further into the season that we hope the boys continue to work on, and as practice continues and things like that, these boys will get a little bit more crisp with their throws and then their decisions during the game. But I'll tell you this much, there is some good energy in the dugout right now. Boys are feeling loose, and they got music playing here in between the innings. Got a win under their belt on the day already, enjoying a 2-run lead here. and adding to their confidence. Looks like we will be starting back here at the top of our lineup. Number 8, Reed Eckert, be followed by Ryder Vota. And I'll take this short break here to talk about one of our silver sponsors for this season. That's the folks out at Sally's Propane. Started as a family business back in 1981 and continue to be a family-owned and operated. They have a long history of supporting local youth athletics and continue that today by supporting our MacNSeitz team. Sally's Propane serves over 4,000 customers in 4 counties. So if you have a need for propane, do me a favor, check them out at Sally's Propane. They'll get you guys taken care of. All right, umpires are ready. EKC is in the field. They continue to stick with Cooper out there on the hill here in bottom of the 3rd. As a nice utility cart drives by. I always think, that's something my MLB counterparts just don't have to deal with, Big utility cart right there in the ear hole. 1-1 count to Reed Eckert. So Cooper with some good zing on some of his pitches. He's topped out at 68, I believe. And has some really good north-south vertical action on some of his off-speed. He misses with the ball right there, but low kind of 3/4 arm slot. And Reed Eckert throwing his bat down thinking he was good for ball number 4, and he now has a full count. Better put his hitting hat on. Strike 3 call, and Reed Eckert goes down. That brings up number 3, Ryder Vota, to the plate. Swing and a miss. Ryder with a .556 on base percentage. And I tell you what, that means 1 out of every 2 at bats he's making his way on base. That is makes a lot of sense to have him batting here high in the lineup. Currently batting in the 2-hole. Swing and a miss. Talking with his dad Kevin here in between games, and he's been working with Nick Crouch. He's in charge of the high school program out there at MacNSeitz Baseball Academy. So I know he has been working on all the elements of his game. And Ryder getting a strike call that, I think that Blue has been pretty consistent with his strike zone. It's just 2 strikes. It's just 2. It's just 2. I think somebody over there in the EKC crowd feeling like that was strike number 3, but that was just strike number 2. There's, I'm telling you. And EKC coach comes out walking, and that's only 2 strikes. Shenanigans. I don't know what's going on, folks. Is everybody watching this game? I don't know what's going down. Ryder Votag goes down. Okay. I guess we're going to have Jacob Larson up at the plate. Oh, my goodness. I tell you what, these guys have been out here fighting the heat all day long. And, they're due a mistake here or there, and I'll give them that as long as it doesn't cost us the game in any instrumental way. And I tell you what, for any of the parents and fans that have come out to the games for these long tournaments and these long tournament days, we're out here for 2 games, right? And maybe we have a game in between, so it makes it a little bit of a longer day, but no day as long as what these umpires have been having. So just not enough guys out here calling games. Larson puts this one into play. A little chopper over to third. And they get him. That will be out number 3. And I, for the life of me, don't know what happened with the Ryder Votag at bat. Did he have 2 strikes? Or he did have 2 strikes? Oh, my goodness. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I'd love to go back and watch that one, the playback on that one. So, talking to Kevin, his dad, and that ball was down in the dirt, and the umpire called it a strike, I guess. So, for strike 3, but whatever. Is what it is. And MacNSeitz still in good contention here. And so electing to stick with Peterson. So that tells me, typically when we've seen Peterson pitch this long on a pool play day, that oftentimes means he will not be with us in bracket play tomorrow, because now starting in the 4th inning, he would not be available to pitch tomorrow for us. And so him being one of our primary pitchers, and Jacob Larson, Logan Peterson, and then also Tucker Lee. We also still have not seen Harrison Perkins throw. And we did see Austin Strength and Brooks Carr today earlier. And I'm missing one other. Oh, and Grant Kelly. So, but all 3 of those pitchers that pitched in that first game will be available for us tomorrow. So I would imagine that Logan is not going to be with us tomorrow, as he misses just outside. This is big number 13, Wyatt, for EKC at the plate. Strikeout on his last at-bat. And now a 1-1 count. Really nice looking pitch right there. Coming in 67 miles an hour. Count now 1-2. Whoo! And Peterson buzzing the tower. Gonna keep him honest. And Paul really moving to the right there. Kind of glanced off his knee shin guard and dribbled off to the side there. Oh, and that one getting away from Paul and Logan there for ball number 4. Walk. That brings up number 32, Mason Clark, for EKC. And they've got to be feeling pretty good about their position in the game right now. Just down 2 runs and really not a lot of action at the plate. They've took advantage of a couple of key walks and then putting the ball in play and a couple of errors. So Clark takes a strike, looking to no, I should have a cord in here and an external battery. What? 18%? And so my wife helping out here with some of the technology points out that my phone's getting ready to die. So shying away from the color commentating tonight, but at least helpful with the technology. Runner on first. Missing high and outside. Yeah, I will say now that the sun has set, so have the mosquitoes. They have set in. And they are hungry this evening. So full count. Runner doesn't go. And a wild pitch. So EKC once again finding life on a couple of walks and nobody down here in the fourth. So Coach Max visiting him out there on the mound, talking about his control, talking about where he feels. I know that Logan had some arm pain earlier in the season here, maybe a tournament ago, maybe 2 tournaments ago it was now, but kind of some pain that kind of radiates down into his bicep, and something that's not uncommon. He's got 87 pitches? Wow. So 87 pitches with some decent efficiency, 43 strikes on 87. Has definitely got to be getting close to his pitch limit, I would think. I know and we get a throwing error and then another throwing error that leads to the advancement of 2 bases. Unbelievable. Big sigh by the commentator there. You know, it's a little different when you're commentating a game that you're emotionally invested in as well. So try to do my best and remain impartial, but yeah, I'm failing kind of miserably right now. But anyway, we got runners on second and third. Number 36, that is Will McMahon up there for EKC at the plate. Oh, he takes one in the back, and that will load the bases. Logan Peterson's like, man, he basically stepped on the plate. If you step on the plate, you can't get a hit by pitch. But I don't think that the umpire saw it that way. And so now the bases are loaded. And that ball getting away from Logan big time. So still a tight matchup here, and the tying run on second, go-ahead run on first. And still nobody down. So that's number 28, Josiah, for EKC, and he's swinging away here early. I tell you what, MacNSeitz faring pretty well in pool play here this 2023 spring summer season, and really just not having any luck in bracket play. And so changing up some of their strategy into game one here, and not throwing one of the big 3 pitchers And obviously electing to throw Peterson here in game number 2. We'll see how that strategy kind of pans out for us today and then obviously tomorrow. And Peterson walks one home. And that's going to be it for Peterson as Coach Max comes out. Peterson definitely frustrated. And crowd cheering him on as they bring out Austin Strength to pitch. So trying to save some arms for bracket play tomorrow. Austin Strength pitched an inning for us here in the last game to close things out. And let's see if he can do something to get us out of this inning without any further damage done, which I tell you what, that's going to be some heavy duty hauling there. Nobody down and bases loaded. Infield convened out there behind the bump and maybe talking a little bit of strategy. I'd like to see maybe the corners in and the middle infielders back at double play depth. Maybe trying to save a run, so if they hit one of the hot corners and with a good hard hit, then maybe they're able to come home and save that extra run. So a typical baseball strategy that you'll see when you're really trying to protect those runs. So typically you'll put those corners at least even with the bases, if not just in front of the bases. So we'll see where everybody lines up as Austin Strength continues his warm-up. Tell you what, he looked good in the game earlier today, throwing strikes. And that brings up number 7, Ridge Savington. That is the top of the EKC lineup. Starts off with a foul to the left side. Foul ball straight up. And Paul McCliney coming up with it. Things working out so far. Bringing Austin Strength in. And so that's one out. And Austin finding that outside corner. So 2 pitches in and out. Like I said, some heavy-duty lifting. Maybe we're going to have a little bit of luck here. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what, these numbers are different on each of these EKC uniform. So that's number 24, which is Cam. And I thought that was number 7 on the last batter. That was not number 7. That was number 2. So depending on EKC Baseball Academy out there towards the, I believe, Independence, Missouri area. This one straight over to the first baseman. He throws it home, and a one-hopper, so no outs and a run scores. That can only come down as a throwing error by Odie Saxon out there on first base. So not necessarily the wrong play, and it's exactly what I said. Corner's playing in for that play at the plate, but you really don't need that if you've got 2 outs, but we've only got 1. And so that could have saved a run, but the throw was off the mark. EKC runs because they have to with the bases loaded. Frustrating. So MacNSeitz continuing to hurt themselves. Game all tied up now. And if you remember back in fall when we faced EKC, that was at the 3-2 complex out there in Shawnee, Kansas. And I tell you what, I think we came in, didn't have the greatest showing in pool play. We had a little bit of a lower seed. We actually beat the number 2 seed as our first game in bracket play, and then faced EKC Black, this same team here. And they had done the same thing. They had upset a higher seed to meet us in the semifinals, and they ended up with the home advantage as they were actually a higher seed than we were. And they won in the last half inning on a line drive that went off Reed Eckert's glove. So definitely a game team willing to stay in the hunt and still give themselves a chance there at the end. They've continued to swing away here and been patient at the plate when they've needed to be patient. Strike 3. That'll be 2 down, and Austin's strength, I'm telling you what, I talked about it in the first game today. He's just kind of one of those utility guys that, you know, sometimes I think could probably be overlooked. But I tell you what, he's played third, he's played short, he's played second. He's also pitched for us. You know, he hasn't pitched a great deal. He's pitched prior to the tournament here. Nope, no problem. So Delana's working the scoring overlay, and she's always getting into trouble. Left side, Logan with the out. Oh my goodness. So ground ball right down that third base line. Jacob Larson scoops that one up, steps on the bag just before the runner gets there, and I don't know if that base umpire could be any less enthusiastic about the call. But, I mean, give the guy credit. He's been out here all day, and he's got to be tired. It's so unfortunate that the competitive climate that happens in youth baseball in particular kind of leads to a lot of browbeating of the umpires, and it's led to a situation where we just don't have enough umpires, and that's pretty frustrating. There should be a little baggie underneath this one that has a bunch of cords in it. So wife's trying to find another cord. The cord she had was not charging the phone. You can just leave it right there if you want. If you want to put on your headset, you could. No. So my younger son, Camden Lee, played in 2 basketball games today out in Overland Park at the Drive 5 Sports Center. Going 2-0 on the day. Hooping it up. Just giving an update to Nanny and Poppy, watching at home there in Independence, Kansas. Oh, getting some very much needed rain down there, huh? All right. So the energy in the MacNSeitz dugout maybe not as loose as it was before. Now a tie game, a little bit closer. EKC electing to stick with their same pitcher, Cooper Meng. Unless that's Ridge Sappington, I don't know. Look at that number. That looks like a number 9, right? The pitcher. You just heard his mom say that's Cooper? So look, Cooper's number 9. Yeah, well that's and all the font on their uniforms are different. So, but here's a number that I do know, and that's number 44, Paul McCliney at the plate for MacNSeitz. Ball. I tell you what, Paul batting just a 278 coming into this tournament on the season, but I tell you what, he started off rough in the first two tournaments, but since then he's been hitting really, really well. He takes a curveball for a strike. Felt like that one was a little bit inside, but and that ball just slipped right out of his hand. Paul hitting a home run here in the last tournament that he played in Liberty. Not on this particular field, but, you know, he had to be feeling good about coming back up here to Liberty to play. And Paul being patient. Now a 3-1 count. Ooh, and he smokes one left side. Oh, wow. Left fielder made a fantastic play, and he was just in the right spot at the right time. I thought that one was going to be a little closer down the line. Kind of hung in the air just long enough for the left fielder to get to it, but hard hit. I'm sure Paul would love to have that one back. And now Logan Peterson up at the plate. Logan coming into this tournament, batting .286 in the season, but .500 on his on-base percentage. He is the person who put the ball in play in our last game for the go-ahead run. No, it was Logan. Never mind. She has. I apologize, folks. You can't hear our conversation back and forth. But she's trying to tell me it was Jacob Larson, but it was Logan Peterson. And so Jacob had a really nice 2 RBI double, but it was Logan Peterson who put the ball in play down the third base side, and that RBI on a fielder's choice. And he smokes this one left side for a single. And I tell you what. He might need to find some heavier lumber right there because that might have got out of the yard. Yeah, his bat is definitely, he's able to get around on it. That brings up number 28, Harrison Perkins, to the plate. So Logan, not a big speedster out on the base paths, but, you know, I think he's got decent speed and long, high fly ball right side. That one could be trouble, and it does. It drops fair. Oh my goodness! And the base umpire calls the foul ball. And the home plate umpire, typically, historically, who has the best vantage point down the fair and foul territory, does not make the call. The base umpire from the second base area calls a foul ball. And that is just a conundrum to me, folks, and I apologize in my astoundment here. Harrison Perkins earns another opportunity to put a nicer stroke on the ball here, but that one right there, I don't know if I've ever seen that. That is a balk. I tell you what. All right. Our team is going to have to win this one by putting the ball in play because we're not going to leave this up to the calls right now. Runner on first. Swing and a miss. That'll be strike 3 for Harrison, who I believe was robbed of what would have otherwise been a lucky hit. But, my goodness. Inexplicable. But Tucker Lee here on his last at-bat smashed one to the right side. EKC playing incredibly deep right now. Curveball in, pass ball, and Logan fast on his feet and paying close attention makes his way over to second base. That is the go-ahead run on second base right now. So all tied up here in bottom of the 4th. And Lee, you could tell, kind of really thought about that last pitch. Being patient here. And a 3-0 count now. You know, interesting, I was talking to Tuck. He watched a video here, I want to say maybe 2-3 weeks ago on TikTok. Now, always watching lots of baseball content and stuff like that, but a guy who spent 12 years in the bigs doing some baseball content online as Tucker draws a walk and ball number 4, pass ball, and Logan Peterson takes another base. So Logan on top of things right now, and Odie with an opportunity to have a go-ahead RBI. But anyway, Tuck watching this baseball content on TikTok, and the guy said, "Hey, I'm going to tell you in 2 minutes what it took me 12 years to learn. Runner goes, no throw down." So he makes his way out to second base uncontested. Now 2 runners in scoring condition and scoring position. Got a little tongue-tied there. This is Odie Saxon at the plate. And I tell you what, he absolutely just hammered one on his last at-bat, left side. So we'll see if he can do that again. But the thing that this player on TikTok said is that too many kids are trying to watch the pitch with one eye. Ball down third base line. And that is out number 3. EKC gets out of the inning with no runs scored, and MacNSeitz strands 2. EKC understandably having a lot of energy coming into the dugout, and MacNSeitz a little slow out onto the field. Always a pet peeve of mine. I like to see kids hustle all the way out from the dugout out to the field. That is just a part of team culture and things like that. So regardless of what's going on in the game. But interesting, so back on this TikTok guy, right? So he was a Major League Baseball player for 10 years, played in the bigs, including the minor leagues, for 12 years. And he said that too many people, it took him 10 years to learn this, but when people are in the batter's box, they tend to look out of their lead eye at the pitcher. And so he said, if you will literally just turn your head a quarter of a turn, you're now looking at the pitcher with both eyes. And obviously, you need to have both eyes in order to see depth of field, and as that pitch is coming across, where is it breaking, how is it breaking, so on and so forth. So you're able to see movement better, you're able to track it better. And I tell you what, Tucker started doing that, and he's actually been hitting really, really well since he did. So kind of interesting how much information is out there on the World Wide Web. And but there's so much great content out there available to these kids that just were not available to players like me when I was a kid. And so I think that's an incredible advantage that guys are able to learn if they have an interest and a willingness to learn and to listen. So, of course, not all content out there great and fantastic, but to give a listen and see if that makes some sense to you, trying something out. Well, here we are now, top of the 5th. Score all tied up. MacNSeitz sticking with strength out there on the bump. And from the windup, starting with a first pitch strike. Going to have to put that solitaire game away. Hard foul ball, right side, well out of play. As I get a slow blink on my solitaire comment. Strike 3. And so Austin Strength with another strikeout, and I'll tell you what, he's continued to show up, man. Officially yet or not. But looks like my main battery hub went kaput on me, and my entire wireless system went down. So we're on my backup. We are on my backup system and back with you here. So missed a little bit of action. Still a tie score, 6-6. Runners on second and first. Number 13, Wyatt at the plate. So Wyatt seeing the ball really well from Austin Strength right now. And I'll tell you what, Austin Strength not too worried. He's got 2 strikes on him, and Wyatt has struck out once earlier today. I would not give him a pitch to hit right now. He's down 0-2 in the count. I would get him trying to swing at something low and away. And he throws a curveball right there. Wyatt for EKC lays off. He has sent a couple of foul balls, borderline home run distance, but well in fair territory. I mean, fair and foul territory. Oh, he's called that all night, folks, and we didn't get it there. All right, so a lot of energy, a lot of impetus here. Everybody wanting to win. EKC excited. MacNSeitz excited. You can feel the tension right now. 2-2 count. 2 on, tie score. Top of the 5th. Ball down, gets away from McCliney as it's down in the dirt. Runners will advance over to second and third and in good scoring position. I'll tell you what, McCliney did a great job moving over to block, but the pitch came down so hard on the turf, and turf bounces. And that ball really bounced up actually over Paul's shoulder, if you believe that. So he was in kind of like that technical. Oh, you got to be kidding me. So here we go, and Strength walks Wyatt. That will be bases loaded. Do we just have 1 down or 2 down? Just 1 down. Oh, my goodness. So MacNSeitz really need to and a beautiful looking curveball right there. Strength starting off with the first pitch strike. What I really like about his pitching style is his tempo. He tends to find a good tempo and gets into that groove, and he puts the pressure on the batter because he keeps it near and in the zone. So now 0-2 count. This is number 32, Mason Clark for EKC at the plate with the bases loaded and just 1 down. That ball missing outside. And, you know, I tell you what, these umpires been out here all day long, and I do it myself. It's hard not to sit there and look at certain calls as they come across the plate. They look good, but ball in play. Double play ball. Bam! MacNSeitz coming up with a huge double play and holding EKC here in top of the fifth. Bases loaded, just one down, and MacNSeitz coming up with a big double play. Big double play. That is not loud enough. That is not loud enough. That's how excited I am. A little air horn for you. Man, that was a play right there. Everybody coming up with it right when they needed it, man. That is something that our MacNSeitz team has been missing, folks. We've been missing coming up with the big plays and the big moments and coming away with the W's when you need them. We have that home advantage. We come up with the win earlier today, and now the guys have a ton of good energy going in to the dugout, and now can they take that energy from the dugout and will it perform at the plate? Looks like we are going to start off, and I tell you what, no better person to start us off and leading off this inning as Austin Strength. So being called in to pitch in a tough situation with bases loaded and not allowing any runs. So, and then he's now leading off for us in the inning. It's nobody better.
I don't know how to tag plays besides like catching. I don't know how to tag them except for strikeouts.
Oh, so for tagging the double play?
Yeah, I didn't know how to do that.
No worries. That was an exciting play and definitely big time for MacNSeitz to come up with that. So now EKC with a new pitcher out there on the bump. Obviously a great job by Cooper Meng there, starting off on the hill for EKC and pitching in here what's a pretty close game, 6-6 here, bottom of the fifth. And Cooper had to throw quite a few pitches. Where are we at? Oh, never mind. My statistician is.
You need to know how many pitches Austin has?
No, I wanted to know how many pitches that Cooper Meng had thrown.
Stand by, sir.
So she's pulling up our Game Changer stats. Or maybe I should say our stats powered by Game Changer. $85 pitches, yeah. So definitely a full load there. And first pitch, that one down in the dirt, coming in 66 miles an hour. That is number 3-1. That is Sully, maybe McCarthy. Sully McCarthy. Batting in the 3-hole, but pitching out there on the bump right now for EKC. And a foul tip. Now 2-1 count. So Austin Strength coming into this tournament, batting .353, 500 on base percentage. Good contact, right side, out of play. And he's battling, fouls that one back. Taking a deep breath and staying loose. Coach Brady talking to him down there at third. And a curveball actually just goes right above Austin's head as he ducks down. And ball number 4 Austin Strength drawing a leadoff walk. And that now brings up Brooks Carr to the plate. So Brooks Carr, 3 RBIs on the season. Looking to help Strength out and move him around the bases, but EKC doing that for him with another pass ball, and Strength easily moving it over to second. So that is the go-ahead run on second base. No outs. Another pass ball, and Strength makes his way over to third. So pitch struggling just a bit here to start. We're home. So it is bottom of the 5th. And now the EKC coach calling a timeout, doing a mound visit, and calls for his infield to come in as well. I'm sure he's going to try to get everybody to settle down, probably talking about some of their strategy. And it looks like maybe he's going to make a pitching change. No? He makes an adjustment out there in right field. So he's making an adjustment in right field, and maybe that's to get that right fielder warmed up. I'm not sure. But he makes an adjustment in the right field, talks to his infield, and now we're all set to play. Brooks Carr, lefty bat. Runner now on third base. Brooks Carr with 3 RBIs. Slugging percentage, .312. So a key situation. That's why when you look at some of those metrics, you see how guys perform in certain situations. And I tell you what, a decent frame-up job by Ketch right there. I felt like that one was maybe a little bit outside, but called strike. Now 3-1 count. Ball 4, Brooks draws a walk. And now that brings up Evan Book. Nobody in my book better for some redemption right here. Evan not hitting the ball really well, but I'm telling you what, this kid can hit. We saw it in fall. We saw it here against the Joco Storm earlier in this season. All he's got to do is put the ball in play. Takes a pitch right there for the runner to move over to second. And now you got 2 runners in scoring position. Nobody down. I tell you what, Solely for EKC up there on the hill got to be a little frustrated. That pitch was definitely very close, coming in 66 miles an hour, right at about the knee level, but I felt like maybe just a little bit low, and the umpire felt that too. Evan puts this one into play, and they get Austin into a pickle. And so Austin goes down. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what Brooks Carr was thinking right there. But Brooks Carr is now on third. Evan Book over on first. And you know what? Evan did his job. He put the ball in play, and if the runner on third would have been a little bit more conscientious, he could have waited for pitch to make the throw over to first before he made his way over to home. And instead, he gets caught in a pickle, and EKC doing a good job coming up with the out. So 1 out, runners on the corners. Runner goes, and he makes his way over to second base uncontested. So now, once again, 2 runners in scoring position. Grant Kelly, number 15, at the plate for MacNSeitz. Kelly batting just .182 on the season coming into this matchup. but had a nice piece of hitting here earlier today with a nice line drive just over second base. He's got 1 RBI in the season and looking to add to that here. Swing and a miss. That pitch coming in 67 miles an hour. And maybe Sully McCarthy is starting to find his control just a bit here. Struggling earlier in the inning. And a fastball outside. Now 2-2 count. I tell you what, Kelly's last at-bat, man, he battled and battled and battled. It was a great quality at-bat. Didn't end up going his way. Put the ball in play. Let's see if he can win this one. Very intelligently. Ball goes over his head, and Kelly brings the bat down, preventing any type of foul ball. Now a 3-2 count. So, big moment here for Kelly. And ball 4, Kelly makes his way on base, and MacNSeitz has now made it around to the top of the order. Reed Eckert coming up to the plate. Now, I tell you what, Reed Eckert batting just 133 coming into this matchup. But again, some of that had to do with that back injury he had where, you know, he was bunting on several occasions and really just unable to swing the bat. So Sully continuing to struggle control-wise. We now have the bases loaded, just 1 down. First baseman playing it well in. Ball straight back to pitch. Throws to home for the automatic force out. You don't have to tag him. And so, you know, catch standing, you can actually block the base path if you have the baseball. But really no reason for him to have physical contact with the runner coming in and whatnot, because all he had to do was touch the plate for that force out. But EKC coming up with a bit of luck right there. And that brings up Ryder Votaw. Big swing and a miss. That bat coming well underneath the ball. Now Votaw, I'll tell you what, 444 slugging percentage. He's got 3 RBIs on the season. Big moment here. And takes pitch down pipe for strike 2. So Ryder with an 0-2 count. MacNSeitz now in a similar situation as earlier. Bases loaded, 2 down. I just need to get 1 run across. You know, I certainly had to think here earlier. We're at the bottom of the lineup. Bases loaded, and, you know, just 1 down. Maybe a bunt would have been a good idea down the third base line. Maybe a squeeze. And a strike 3 call. EKC makes their way out of that inning, and MacNSeitz, unbelievable, folks. And so MacNSeitz with a draw on the day. So EKC battling back, and the time limit is called. And as per the tournament rules, that is going to be a draw. So MacNSeitz visibly frustrated, Ryder Votaw in particular. Not really enjoying that last call. But hats off to EKC in a close matchup where they had to battle back, and they did so well enough to tie this game. And so that will come down as a draw for us. We'll see how we end up in the bracket seeding. I think that there's still some games yet to go Maybe not. That might be it. I don't know. So one thing I do know is that we will have bracket play tomorrow, and we'll see you guys out here again on YouTube. Look for some highlights through Sideline HD, and appreciate that technology. I hope you guys are enjoying those, and make sure that to give a shout out to your favorite player. These guys are out here practicing and playing all the time, and putting a lot of energy and effort and their passion into baseball. So we will see you folks tomorrow morning. That's all for us out here at the Capital Federal Sports Complex of Liberty, Missouri.